Hi everyone. In the previous part of dairy microbiology, we had gone with the introduction to dairy microbiology that is related to the milk, its composition, its properties that is physical and chemical, and microorganisms in milk, significance of microorganisms in milk. In this video, we are going to discuss about the different types or classification of microorganisms in milk. In general, the types of microorganisms found in milk may vary considerably in milk. That is, there may be bacteria, yeast, molds, and bacteriophages, or they may be of combinations or commonly found in the milk. And the microorganisms in milk are majorly being classified into three groups based on the characters like temperature response, biochemical activities, pathogenic types, that is, microorganism capable of producing the infections or diseases. Let's begin with the first character classification, that is depending upon the temperature response. On the basis of their optimum temperature for growth and heat resistance, the bacteria encountered in milk are of the following four types. How many types? Four types. What are they? Psychrophilic, mesophilic, thermoduric, and thermophilic. So let's see individually what are these means. So first one is psychrophilic. The psychrophilic bacteria, or also called as cryophilic, are going to grow best at a relative low temperatures, usually below 10 degrees centigrade. At what temperature? Below 10 degrees temperature. The pasteurized milk stored in refrigerator may be satisfactorily preserved for a week or even longer. But eventually, microbial deterioration is going to be manifested by off flavor and off odor will become evident because of the accumulation of metabolic process of some psychrophilic bacteria like pseudomonas, then flavobacterium, alkaligens, achromobacter, and some sort of vibrio, even coliform bacteria, etc. So this is what you have to remember. So in short, I have given like this, the microorganisms, the nature and the unpalatability. That means what you are unconsumable, which is not useful to consume. Okay, so this is the first one where the microorganisms are going to grow below 10 degrees centigrade. Then coming to the mesophilic bacteria, these are going to grow best at a temperature between 10 degrees to 45 degrees usually, and at a temperature of 25 to 40 degrees. So those are being considered as mesophilic. That means in general, they are going to show their maximum growth between 25 to 40 degrees centigrade. And the best examples of the microorganisms, that is mesophilic microorganisms, are lactic acid, that is lactobacilli, then streptococcus, and some coliform bacteria are the best examples of mesophilic type. And these are the mainly acid producing type. In addition to the acid, they may also produce some sort of a gas that result in off flavors in the milk. Okay, then the third type of classification is thermoduric. Depending upon the temperature is thermoduric. You may heard about the thermophilic but not the thermoduric. So thermoduric means the bacteria is going to survive the pasteurization temperature in considerable numbers but do not grow at pasteurization temperature. They can survive during the pasteurization but do not grow at pasteurization temperature. Since they are not killed by pasteurization, they are maybe main contaminant of the containers. Okay, and these are the certain examples of the microorganisms related to the thermoduric which can hold or survive during pasteurization, that is mycobacterium, corynebacterium, micrococcus luteus, streptococcus thermophilus, bacillus subtilis, and microbacterium lacticum. Okay, and finally you are going to have some sort of a off taste and ropiness due to the existence of these microorganisms in the containers or in the milk. Then the fourth type of classification depending upon the temperature is thermophilic. These bacteria, that it means thermophiles develop best at 55 to 65 degrees centigrade with a minimum and maximum of 40 and 80. That means with a minimum temperature of 40 degrees and a maximum temperature of 80 degrees respectively. And the examples of this thermophilic type of microorganisms are Bacillus stereothermophilus is the best example of this kind, and Bacillus species and Clostridium are going to be the few examples related to this thermophilic or microorganisms or thermophiles. As I told you, these are going to grow well at pasteurization temperature, particularly at low temperature holding method. Then how can we have the unpalatability? Means the fermentation, they are going to ferment the undesirable fermentation, then proteolysis and rancidity. So these are the few temperature classification of microorganisms or types of microorganism found in the milk. Then going to the second type of character, that is biochemical activities. So what is this biochemical activities? This group, that is biochemical activities classification group, consists of those microorganisms occurring in milk which bring about some biochemical changes in the milk. So they are going to be of different types, that is gas production, that is gas producing bacteria, then acid production, then lipolysis or rancidity, then alkaline formation, then proteolysis, ropiness, then change in flavor, color changes, and stromy fermentation. So those are the few biochemical characters or biochemical changes that are going to occur by certain microorganisms in the milk. So let's see each one individually in detail. So coming to the first one, gas production. The biochemical activity is a gas production, and the microorganisms involved in this one are going to be called as gas forming microorganisms. So here there are certain coliform bacteria like Clostridium butyricum which ferment lactose to acids accompanied with or accumulation of gases, and that gases may be usually a mixture of carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. The Clostridium butyricum is going to produce a large amount of carbon dioxide, whereas the coliforms, in general, the coliforms are going to produce the hydrogen in addition to this carbon dioxide. And certain yeast like what we call as Torula cremoris, then Candida pseudotropicalis, and Torula sparica is also involved in the production of some sort of carbon dioxide through the fermentation of the lactose. So this is how these all microorganisms are involved in the production of the gas in the milk. Then moving to the second type of biochemical activity, that is acid production or acid forming microorganisms. So these are all the acid forming microorganisms you can see. These acid forming microorganisms are certain bacteria which bring about natural fermentation of the milk either by homo or by hetero fermentation. And the most common type in this acid production obviously is our lactic acid bacteria, which takes place during souring of milk under natural conditions. Milk of good sanitary quality, when kept under conditions that allow the growth of streptococcus, develops a clean sour flavor, as well as not only the streptococcus but also the lactobacillus. Then moving to the micrococcus, this micrococcus is going to produce a small amount of acid from lactose fermentation and sour the milk. And here are the examples of micrococcus is going to be Micrococcus luteus, then Micrococcus varians, etc. Then the E. coli and Enterobacter aerogenes also ferment lactose to a mixture of end products, that is acid, gases, and some neutral compounds, and these all are going to be considered as undesirable as they produce the carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and unpleasant flavor. The things that we are getting from streptococcus and lactobacilli are good, but the things that we are getting from the E. coli and enterobacter aerogenes are going to be of undesirable. Then the Mycobacterium lacticum is also reported in milk and ferment lactose to lactic acid and end products. Okay, so this is what you have to write about the acidic or acid production by acid forming bacteria or microorganism. Then the third biochemical activity is lipolysis or rancidity. That means lipid is going to be lysed. So some of the microorganisms are able to produce an enzyme called as a lipase, which split the milk fat to glycerol and fatty acid. That means the lipid is going to be broken down into two molecules called as glycerol and fatty acid. And these some of the fatty acids have a sharp flavor which causes imparent, that is imparting rancid flavor and odor to the milk. The best examples of the rancidity or lipolytic bacteria are Clostridium lipolyticum, Bacillus, Achromobacter. Then coming to the east also we are having some Candida lipolytica, and coming to the malls we are having the Penicillium and Zeotrichum species. So what is happening here? The lipids are going to degrade it and producing a rancid odor and of taste. Then moving to the fourth type of biochemical activity, that is alkaline formation. Here you can see the Pseudomonas fluorescens and Alcaligens viscolaticus microorganisms are involved in the fermentation of the milk and forming the urea carbonate, making milk alkaline and sour. Obviously, this biochemical activity was considered as alkaline forming or alkaline forming microorganism. Then moving to the next one, that is proteolysis. So what is meant by proteolysis? The proteolysis is the degradation of the casein protein to peptides, which may be further degraded to amino acids, and which those amino acids are responsible for alkaline reaction as well as a bitter taste of milk. Okay, so here you can see the examples of the proteolytic bacteria like Bacillus subtilis and Bacillus cereus and Pseudomonas putrificans. We are going to have Pseudomonas species here, then Proteus species, then Streptococcus liquefaciens. Okay, so these are the certain proteolytic bacteria present in the milk. So what these are going to do? These are going to hydrolyze the milk protein and increase the pH, and they are also involved in the proteolysis may be proceeded by coagulation of the casein by the enzyme called as renin, elaborated by bacteria, resulting in the formation of soluble form of casein. And the slow proteolysis with the production of mercaptans as well as hydrogen gas amines may also occur due to the proteolysis, and whatever the residual proteolysis caused by heat stable proteinase enzyme also. So these are the different characters that are going to occur during this proteolysis chemical changes. Then moving to the next one, ropiness. What is meant by ropiness? The conversion of a liquid milk to viscous material by the action of microbes is called ropy fermentation or ropiness. These microorganisms, that means the ropiness causing microorganism, synthesize a viscous polysaccharide material that form a slime layer or capsule around their cells. Now, this ropy milk is not that much deleterious to health, but is usually objectionable due to its appearance and is frequently used as a culture media. Okay, and the examples of ropy forming bacteria are Alcaligens viscolatica or lactis, then Enterobacter aerogenus, then we are having the Streptococcus cremoris, then some species of micrococci are mainly involved in, or responsible for this ropy fermentation. Okay, so this is what you have to remember about the ropiness. Then moving to the next one, change in flavor. That means sometimes the biochemical change is going to be involved in the change in the flavor. So there are different types of the flavors, that is sour or acid flavor. So which is going to be because of the Streptococcus lactis. Then the clean flavor is because of the coliforms, and the sharp flavor is because of the leuconostoc, and the aromatic is because of the Streptococci. So this is how this is all going to be shown by different types of the microorganism. The sour acid flavor is due to the acid production, And the clean and the short flour is because of the volatile fatty acids are produced, and the aromatic flour is going to be because of the leuconostoc and streptococci producing the aromatic acid production. Then some biochemical change is leading to the bitter flour, that is due to mainly coliforms and asparaginus and even the yeast. That is because of the proteolysis and lipolysis of the milk components. Then musty flour is due to actinomycetes. This is also because of the proteolysis of the milk. Then burnt or caramel flour is because of the microorganisms Streptococcus lactis, variant multigens, and this you are going to have a cooked flavor of overheated milk. So these are some of the biochemical changes related to the flour. Then related to the color changes, that means biochemical changes in color. So if the milk is going to be blue milk, that is because of the microorganism Pseudomonas syncytiae, Streptococcus lactis, and the molds like Zeotrichum. And you are going to have a milk in the appearance of the blue color. Then yellow milk is due to Streptococcus synxanthe, and Flavobacterium. And the conditions that are prevailing, the yellow color, creamy liposis and proteolysis. And then you are going to see some sort of a red color on top layer of the milk too. Then red milk is because of Serratia, Micrococcus, Brevibacterium and yeast, and you are going to see the pink or red colored colonies on the milk. Then brown milk, this is because of mainly Pseudomonas putrefaciens and Pseudomonas fluorescens, and this is going to be because of the putrefaction of the milk, enzymatic oxidation of tyrosine, which is one of the type of amino acid present in the milk. Then the next biochemical change is stromy fermentation. So the microorganisms involved in causing this stromy fermentation is Clostridium perfringens. And the conditions here, you are going to have the higher acids and alkalis produced, resulting in the stringiness of the milk. Okay, so these are all the 9 different types of biochemical changes that are occurring because of the different types of the microorganism that are present in the milk. Then moving to the third type of classification of microorganisms in milk is pathogenic type. Diseases that is going to be transmitted through milk either from the infected cows or other sources is going to be of different types. So a variety of diseases are potential transmissible through the milk. And the source of disease causing microorganisms occur in milk may be either the dairy cattle or the human. The first, if you see the cow, the source is going to be the cow. The diseases that are occurring to the cow and the diseases occurring to the man. The tuberculosis will occur to the cow as well as the man. Mastitis is to the cow and sore throat is to the man. Brucellosis is going to be the cow. Undulant fever to the man, and the anthrax in both the conditions. And what are the causative organisms of that? TB is obviously Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and mastitis and the sore throat in man is because of Micrococcus pyogenes. Brucellosis or undulant fever is due to Brucella abortus, and anthrax is obviously Bacillus anthracis, isn't it? So these are the microorganisms and the different types of the diseases that we are getting. And the other source are going to be of, you are going to have in man, we are discussing only about the man, not about the animal, that is we are getting the milk, that is cow. So typhoid obviously is Salmonella typhi. So these are all mainly through the containers or through the contamination process, all those things. Typhoid, that is Salmonella typhi. Diphtheria is Corynebacterium diphtheria. Scarlet fever is by Streptococcus pyogenes. Q fever is another important one, that is Coxiella burnetii. Cholera is by Vibrio cholerae. Then enteric fever is by Salmonella paratyphi and Salmonella typhimurium. So these are all the different types of microorganisms in milk. Okay, the classification or types of microorganisms in milk. Thank you.